Good afternoon to you all. Okay, so today we'll discuss NCRT problem. Fine. So, okay. So I think good afternoon. Okay, so can I discuss from starting? Not discuss, just ask you that you have doubt or not. Okay, that would be fine then. In sequence wise, vectors will be there after discussing the NCRT problem. We'll do vectors. Okay, fine. After discussing the doubts of NCRT, we will do vectors. Okay. Okay, so I think so. How many of you are having doubt in question number one? If you have doubt, then only you say. Otherwise, no, don't say anything. Okay, one, two, three, three. Okay, so three question is a woman starts from home at 9 a.m. So it is question number 3.3. Question point 3.3. Okay, a woman a woman starts from home at 9 a.m. Okay, it start at home at 9 a.m. Okay, fine. Walks with the speed of 5 km per hour on a straight road up to her office, which is 2.5 km away, which is 2.5 kilometers away. So this is the home office. Okay, distance between them is how much? 2.5 kilometers. Okay, and stay up to office up to 5 p.m. Okay, up to 5 p.m. it is staying at the office, and it is going from home to office at a speed of how much? 5 km per hour, and coming back at a speed of 25 km per hour. You have to plot the displacement versus time graph for this following. Okay. So first of all, it started from 9 o'clock. Okay. So can you find the time taken from home to office? That would be equal to how much? Time is distance by speed. Distance is 2.5. Speed is 5. Means half hour. Okay. Half hour. The time taken from home to office is half hour. Okay, then it is stayed, which means this woman reached office reached office at 9:30 a.m. Okay, it stayed up to 5 p.m. Okay, then it again come back. So when it comes back, time to reach from office to home, office to home, that would be equal to how much? Distance, that is 2.5, by speed, that is 25, means 1 by 10th hour. 1 by 10th hour means 1 by 10 into 60 means how much? 6 minutes. Okay, so it takes 30 minutes to reach office, and it takes 3 minutes 6 minutes to reach home. Okay, you have to plot the displacement versus time graph for this. Okay, so we have to plot displacement versus time graph. We can take displacement on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. Okay, time can be taken on the x-axis. Okay, so this is displacement. Fine. So displacement time. So at 9 a.m. it started from home. Okay, we can assume home as the reference point. Okay, now it moves with a constant speed. It moves with the constant speed. So displacement time graph for a constant speed is a straight line inclined to time axis. So this is the graph. Okay, it reaches the office, which was 2.5 kilometers away, 2.5 kilometer away from this home at 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. Then it stayed in the office, means that there will be no displacement of the body of the woman. Then up to 5 a.m. it stayed at the office. Then it reaches home after 5 5 5 p.m. 6 minutes. Okay, 5 p.m. 6 minute. Okay, so that is the displacement time graph for this case. Okay, fine. Okay, now I think this is the, I think you all have understood this problem. Okay, okay. Now question number fourth. Question number fourth, you have doubt? 3.4. 3.4. Okay, fine. Don't message me in my mobile, okay? If you want, you will write it in this Zoom app. Okay, I'll see that. Fine. Question number 3.4. A drunkard walking on a narrow lane take 5 steps forward, means a drunkard take 5 steps forward, 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. Okay, 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. Okay, followed 5 steps forward means it is repeating this process, means 5 steps forward then 3 steps backward, then 5 steps forward then 3 steps backward. Okay, so if you draw the path of the drunkard, it started from point O. Okay, it started from point O, it travels 5 steps forward and then 3 steps backward, which means after 8 seconds, where is the displacement of the drunkard? 2 meters. Correct now? Means 5 steps forward, means for one step it is taking 1 second. Okay, so for 8 steps, means 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward, it would have displaced by 2 meters. Okay, so for 2 meter, how much time it is taking? 8 seconds. Similarly, when it reaches 2 meter, again it will take 5 steps forward and then 2 step, 3 step backward. Then again displacement becomes 4 meter. Okay, 4 meter in how many seconds? 8 seconds. Okay, so in next 8 seconds it has displaced by 4 meter. Similarly, if you count this time, okay, they are asking you that uh, there is a pit, there is a pit after 13 meter. Okay, and he falls inside the pit. Okay, so for 2 meter 8 second, for 4 meter 8 second means 16 second, then 6 meters again 8 seconds. Okay, then 8 meters again 8 seconds. But when it reaches 8 meter, it will take 5 steps forward. So when it takes 5 steps forward, it will fall inside the pit. Okay, fine. Which means total time will be how much? 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 5 means 37 seconds is the answer for this problem. 37 seconds is the answer for this problem. Okay, fine. I think you understand the procedure here, that it started from 0. After 8 seconds, it has displaced by 2 meter. Then next 8 seconds, 4 meter. Then next 8 seconds, 6 meters. Like this. Okay, fine. 8 means after 6 meter, it would it would come forward by 5 meters, means 6 plus 5 how much, 11, then it comes back to 8 meters. Okay, like this it is moving. Okay, that is the answer for this problem. Now question number 5. Question number 5 is doubt. 6. 5 is a doubt or not? 5. Okay, the 5 problem is that a jet plane traveling at a speed of 500 km per hour, 500 km per hour, ejects its product means a jet plane is traveling, okay, at a speed of 500 km per hour, eject a gas at a speed of 1500 km per hour. With respect to jet, it is ejecting how much speed, how much means what is the ejection speed of the ejection of the fuel, that is 1500 km per hour with respect to jet. Okay, what we need to find, we need to find the velocity of the fuel with respect to ground. So some observer is on the ground, then what is the speed of the fuel which is coming out from the jet with respect to the ground. Okay, so the velocity of fuel with respect to jet is equal to how much, minus 1500 kilometer per hour. Why minus? Because we have taken this as positive, this as negative. Okay, fine. Now velocity of fuel with respect to jet is equal to velocity of fuel with respect to ground minus velocity of jet with respect to ground. Now this jet is moving with the speed of 500 km per hour. That is velocity of jet with respect to ground is 500 km hour plus 500 km per hour. Therefore, the velocity of fuel with respect to ground will be equal to minus 1500 plus 500 means minus 1000 km per hour. So that is the speed of the fuel with respect to ground. That is what we have to find in this problem. Okay, fine. Understood. That is question number 5. Okay, 3.5. 3.5. Okay. Question number 3.6. 6 you have doubt? No. 7. 7th is a doubt. Okay. 7th. Okay. So 6th. Sixth is very easy problem. That directly you have to apply equation of motion there. You can get the answer. V equal to U plus AT and S equal to UT plus half AT. See, simply we can apply V equal to U plus AT. You get the answer. Okay. 7th. Now 7th problem is that two trains A and B of length 400 meter each are moving on a two parallel track with a uniform speed of 72 km per hour in the same direction. A is ahead of B. So let us draw this. This is train B. Okay. This is train A. A is ahead of B. A is ahead of, this is A. This is B. Okay. Fine. Now the length of each train is 400 meters. The length of each train is how much? 400 meter. Okay. Let us suppose initial separation between them is D. Initial separation between them is D. Speed of both the train is 72 km per hour. This is again 72 km per hour. Okay. The driver B decide to overtake A and it accelerate at the rate of 1 meter per second square. Okay, parallel track means they are not moving in the same track. They are in a parallel track. Okay, don't confuse with the same track. They are in a parallel track. Okay, fine. If in after 50 seconds, the guard of B brushes past the driver of A. So basically, if you see the train, this part is driver, this part is guard. Okay, means back is the guard and first forward is the driver. Same here, the driver here, guard here. So they are asking you find the uh, in 50 seconds this guard means the last portion of the guard overtakes the driver. Okay, so after some second, after 50 seconds, the condition would be like this. This is train A, this is train B. Okay, this is the guard which is crossing the A after 50 seconds. After 50 seconds. Okay, fine. Okay, that is the that we can draw here the figure. Okay, now what we need to find, we need to find the distance between them. Distance between them, that is D. Okay, so here we can use what we can use here, the relative velocity concept. Okay, so if you use the relative velocity concept, okay, what is the initial separation between them? The initial separation is D minus 800. Okay, so if you take A as the observer and observing B, okay, so we can take like A is the observer. So can we write initial velocity of B with respect to A will be equal to how much? 72 minus 72, which is 0 kilometer per hour. Okay, now the acceleration of B with respect to A will be equal to how much? 1 minus 0 means 1 meter per second square. Okay, now initial separation means how much B has to cover A to get past A. That is D plus 400 plus 400. So initial separation would be what? D plus 800 meters, because it has to also cover the length of the train also. Na? Means if B has to cross A, it has to cover the length of A plus length of B. Okay. Now, now we can simply use the equation of motion there. Okay. Means initial separation, which is D plus 800, should be equal to half A half BA, half BA into T square. Okay, fine. So D minus 800, D plus 800 equal to half into 1 into 50 square. 50 square means 2500. 50 square. This will come as 1250. D plus 800 equal to 1250 means D is equal to 450 meter is the answer. So we can do this with the help of relative velocity concept. Okay. So answer is 450 meter. Okay. I hope you understood this problem. Conventional method means see, no, answer is 450. We have to find the initial separation between them. Okay, initial separation is 800 meters. That is why you see the diagram here. See, initial separation between them is D. The length of the train are 400 meters, which means what? You have to find D value. Okay, so how much B has to travel so that it can cross A? It has to travel 400 meter of the train A plus 400 meter of the train B plus the separation between them. Okay, fine. In NCRT book, answer is not given first of all. Answer is 450 only. Okay, in NCRT book there is no answer. Fine. Okay, answer is 250. Initial separation they are asking you, not the distance covered by the B to cross A. Okay. Guard, we have taken this guard of B as the origin. Okay, guard of B has taken as origin. Fine. Now question number 8, 9, 8. Okay, basically every problem we have doubt. Yes, each and every problem you are all are having doubt. Yes. Okay, if this is the way, then I don't think you have understood anything. in kinematics 1D. Okay. Now next problem is that the two trains A and B are connected by a regular bus service to two towns are two towns A and B are connected by a regular bus service. Okay, regular bus service leaving either direction in T minutes. Okay, so we can say a man is cycling at a speed of 20 km per hour. 20 km per hour. I am saying question number 9. Yes. 8 I have done na. 8 I have done. This is ninth. This is 8.9 question, I think. Na? This is, I think, 8.9 only. Na? No, no, no. 8. Sorry, I'm doing 8 question, not 9 question. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm doing 8. No, no. Okay, 8 you have to do. Wait. Okay. Sorry, sorry. 8 you have problem. 9 you have problem. Both you have problem. 8 and 9. Okay, very good. So every question you have doubt. Okay, this means whatever I have taught you, you didn't understand anything. Fine now. We have a two-lane road. Okay, we have a two-lane road. This is lane 1 where car A is there, and this is the lane 2. Okay, where we have two cars. This is B car and this is C car. Okay, fine. Car A is traveling with the speed of 36 km per hour. So we can assume this car is moving with the 36 km per hour. Can we convert in meter per second? That will come as I think 10 meter per second. Similarly, the car B is moving with a speed of 54 km per hour. So it would be 15 meter per second. We are converting kilometer per hour to 15 meter per second. And C is moving with 15 meter per second. Both are in opposite direction. See, both are in opposite direction, and initial separation means initial distance between them is 1 kilometers. 1000 meter we can write here as 1000 meter. This is again 1000 meters. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So what we have to do? We have to find means the car B want to overtake car A. Okay, to avoid the accident. What is the minimum acceleration? Means before C, B has to overtake A. Okay, so just see in this point. If I take A as the observer, what is the velocity of B with respect to A? That is 15 minus 10. That is 5 meter per second. Similarly, the velocity of C with respect to A will be how much? That would be equal to minus 15 minus 10 means minus 25 meter per second. Okay. Why minus? Because negative left side we have taken negative and right side we have taken as positive. Okay. See, conversion of kilometer per hour to meter per second is 30 by 5 by 18 you get in meter per second. Reverse in meter per second 2 kilometer per hour you have to multiply by 8 by 5. Okay, fine. Okay, so velocity of C with respect to A is minus 25 meter per second. Now, can you find the time when C reaches A or crosses A? That would be equal to how much? That would be equal to initial separation. Now, if A is the observer, C is the car which we are observing, then what is the displacement of C in order to cross A? That is minus 1000 because C has to travel negative direction. So it should be what? Minus 1000 equal to minus 25 into t, means t is equal to 4 seconds. So in 4 seconds C will cross the A. Now the B has to cross A before C does, which means B will cross A before 4 seconds. So what should be the minimum acceleration? So we assume that the minimum acceleration of B as A. Okay. So what is the acceleration of B with respect to A? The acceleration of B with respect to A will be equal to 1 minus 0, sorry, A minus 0, which is 1 meter per second, A meter per second square. Okay. Now, if A is the observer, B is the car which we are observing, how much B should get displaced to catch A? That is how much? 1000 meters. So we can write here as plus 1000 equal to initial velocity of B with respect to A is 5 meter per second. So it should be 5 into, okay, and at what time it is crossing? The minimum time is 4 seconds. So we can take this as 4. It should not come as 4, sorry, it should come as 40 seconds, not 4 seconds. Okay, it should come as 40 seconds. Here is a mistake, it is 40 seconds. Okay, so it should be what? 1000 means we are using equation of motion here. So SVA must be equal to UVA into T plus half ABA into T square. Okay, that is the equation which we are using here. Okay, so displacement of B with respect to A is 1000 meter. 1000 equal to 5 into 40 plus half into A into 40 square. If you solve, you get the acceleration of B with respect to A as 1 meter per second square. This is the answer of the question. 1 meter per second square. Okay, fine. So that is the answer for question number 8. Okay, fine. Now question number 9. Is anyone is having doubt? 10, 11, 9th, 10th, 11th. Very good. It's better I should discuss all the questions. Yes, na? Is it correct, na? I have discussed almost all the questions, na? So, okay. Okay. Ninth one, okay. Ninth one is a good problem that need to be discussed. Okay. Ninth is to be okay. Question number 9 is a very good problem. Okay. Now see. Question number 9 is the two towns A and B. The two towns A and B are connected by a regular bus service with a bus leaving in either direction in every t minute. Means every t minutes the bus is leaving this A and B in the opposite direction. Okay. A man cycling with the speed of a man cycling with the speed of 20 kilometer per hour, 20 kilometer per hour in the direction of A to B, means from A to B it is moving with the speed of 20 kilometer per hour. Notices a bus goes past him every 18 minutes in the direction of motion and every 6 minutes in the opposite direction of motion. Okay, so there are two buses. Okay, one bus is in the direction of motion of the cyclist, which is from A to B. When the bus moves from A to B, it takes 18 minutes, okay, to cross a person. 18 minutes to cross a person. And when the bus moves from B to A, it takes 6 minutes to cross a cyclist. Okay, what is the time period t we have to find, and with what speed do the bus ply on the road? Means what is the speed of the bus which is moving on the road. Okay, fine. So this is the figure which we have drawn. So let us suppose, let the let v be the speed of the bus. Let v be the speed of bus. Okay, so the bus is moving with a constant speed from either direction, from A to B and from B to A. Okay, so we are assuming one thing, that the speed of the bus is v. Okay, now what is the distance between A and B? Distance between A and B, that would be equal to speed of the bus into time t. That is the distance between A and B. Okay, so if you take the road as the reference frame, then the speed of the bus is v. It takes t times to reach from A to B. So can we say that distance between A and B is v into t? Okay, fine. Now if I take the cyclist as a frame of reference, if I take a cyclist as a frame of reference, then then the bus travels the bus travels from A to B. The bus travels from A to B. So what is the distance traveled by the bus from A to B? That would be equal to speed of the bus with respect to cyclist. The speed of the bus with respect to cyclist, that will be how much? From A to B, what is the velocity of bus with respect to cyclist? That would be equal to V minus 20. Correct now? V minus 20 is the speed of the bus when it is moving from A to B. Okay, with respect to cyclists. Okay, fine. So what is the distance traveled by this bus when it moved from A to B? From A to B, the distance traveled will be how much? That would be equal to V minus V minus 20 V minus 20 into time taken. Now what is the time taken for the bus when it moves from A to B? That is 18 minute, or we can say 18 by 16 hours. So that is the first equation. Okay. Similarly, when the bus moves, so this velocity is what? With respect to cyclists. With respect to cyclists. Fine. Now when the bus moves from B to A, then what is the velocity of bus with respect to cyclists? That would be equal to V plus 20. Why? Why V plus 20? Because V is the velocity of the bus. Minus of minus 20 means V plus 20. Okay, fine. Now distance will be how much? That must be equal to V plus 20 into 6 by 60. That is the initial separation between A and B. Okay. Now you can see both are the distance. Both are distance between A and B. Can we equate both equation number 1 and equation number 2? So if you equate equation number 1 with equation number 2, what you will get? You will get V minus 20 into 18 by 60 must be equal to V plus 20 into 6 by 60. Okay, 60 cancel out. So we get what? 3V minus 60 is equal to V plus 20. So I think it will come somewhat around 2V equal to 80. So V will come as 40 kilometer per hour. That is the speed of the bus. Okay, that is the speed of the bus. Fine. Now next thing, what we need to find? We have to find the time period t. So now we know that when you take the ground frame, what is the distance between A and B? That is Vt. When you take the cyclist frame, then what is the distance between A and B? That is V minus 20 into 18 by 60. Okay, fine. So V value we have already found, that is 40 kilometer per hour. So can we write this as 40 t equal to 18 by 60. 18 by 60, that is how much? 3 by 10. 3 by 10 V minus something wrong I have done. Wait. T we have to find now. This would be 40 minus 20. Okay. See, this t is in minutes, so you have to convert in seconds. Okay. In hours, to convert in hours, we have to divide here by 60 also. Okay. Fine. Then it will come in hours. Okay. So it should be what? Vt equal to V value we know. V value is how much? 40. So 40 into t must be equal to, this would be how much? 20 into 18. Okay. So t will come as how much? 20 into 18 by 40. 9. Okay. It will come as 9 minutes. Okay. Fine. That is the answer. Okay. I hope you understand this. Okay. Now question number 10, 11, 12, 12, 12. Now 12 question. Okay. 12 we have doubt. Wait. Okay. Question number 12. Question number 12 is very good. The 11th is easy one. Okay. 11 is not a very difficult problem. Okay. Fine. It is just theoretical part of or theory I have already explained to you. You can get the answer. Okay. 12 one. Last step means, see, this is the distance travel in distance between the 2 points in the ground frame when the bus is traveling. This is the ground frame. This is what? The cyclist frame. The distance should be same. Whether you change the frame, this distance will never change. Okay. So ground frame distance would be equal to the distance when you take the cyclist frame. Okay. So both should be same. Fine. Okay. Fine. So question number 12. Question number 12 is a very good problem. If you see, a ball is dropped from a height of 90 meters. A ball is dropped from a height of 90 meters. Okay. Hits on the floor. At each collision of the floor, the ball loses 1/10 of the speed. Plot the distance was speed versus time graph. Here you have to draw the speed versus time graph. Okay. So again, this is the ground here. Okay. We have a ball. Okay. That has been released from a height of 90 meters. Okay. Now we take this the point of impact as the origin. Means the point where it is hitting the ground is taken as reference point. Okay. Fine. You can take this as A, this as O. O is the point where it is hitting. Okay. You have to plot the speed versus time graph for this. Okay. So can we find the time taken by the ball? So ball is released from point A from height of 90 meter. It is 0 meter per second. Okay. So can you find the time taken by a ball to reach O from A? Okay, A to O. So what we can use? Now since here displacement is negative because we have taken this as reference point, the displacement would be negative, so minus 90 equal to ut, u is 0, minus half g into t square. Okay, so it becomes 190 equal to half into 9.8 into t square. So it should be 180 by 9.8 equal to t square. What value we are getting here? 9.8, 180, 180 by 9.8 root 180 divided by 9.8. you'll get somewhat around time as 4.3 seconds. Okay, 4.3 seconds. So in 4.3 seconds, this ball will reaches the ground. 4.3 seconds is the time taken by the ball to reach the ground. So let us plot the graph first of all. Okay, fine. Yes, you just have to wait for 1 minute. Just wait. Okay, we have to plot the graph between speed and time. Okay, fine. So y-axis we have taken as speed and x-axis we have taken as time. Okay, speed and time. Okay, so at time t equal to 0, the particle was at a point. Its speed is 0, initial velocity is 0. Fine. Now, when you drop the ball, when you drop the ball, it is under uniform acceleration. So so speed time graph for uniform acceleration is a straight line inclined to time axis. Okay. Now, now when it reaches time t equal to 4.3 second, means when it reaches 4.3 second, fine, this is point o, this is point a, this is point o, origin. Now what is the speed when it reaches the ground? The speed can be easily find, that is v equal to u minus gt. So v equal to 0 minus 9.8 into 4.3. So what speed you are getting? 9.8 into 4.3, 9.8 into 4.3, you get 42. Speed will be minus 40, velocity will be minus 42.14 meter per second, but speed would be what? The magnitude of this, that is 42.14 meter per second. Okay, so when it reaches the ground, its speed is 42.13 meter per second. Okay, now what will happen? Now when it hits the ground, it loses 1/10 of the speed. So when it is hitting the ground, its speed is how much? Its speed is 42.14 meter per second. Now when it hits the ground, it loses 1/10 of the speed. Now when it hits the ground, it will again rebounces. But when it rebounces, its speed will be less than. So what is the speed when it rebounces? That would be equal to 0.9 times of 42.13, because 1/10 is lost. So how much speed remaining? That is 0.9. Okay. So 0.9 of 42.13 meter per second will give you what? 0.9 into 42.13 means 38 meter per second. Okay. 38 meter per second. So you can see that at time t equal to 4.3 second, its velocity reduces to 38 meter per second, because as soon as it hits the ground, its speed is reduces and it becomes 38 meter per second. Fine. Now what will happen? Now this ball will rise up. Okay. Fine. It will again rebound and it reaches the maximum height. Okay. When it reaches the maximum height, its velocity becomes 0. Fine. So what is the time taken to reach the maximum height? That is v equal to u minus gt. Okay. V 0, u is 38 minus 9.8 into t. So t will be 38 by 9.8. Approximately it would be 4 seconds. So in the 4 seconds it will reach the maximum height. 4 seconds means what? From 4.3 second to another 4 second, speed is, it becomes 0. Okay. Speed becomes 0, means after 8 seconds speed becomes 0. Fine. Then from maximum height it will again come back. Now you know that while if there is no air resistance, then the time of ascent is equal to time of descent, which means time taken to reach from ground to highest point will be same as the time taken from a to 0, which is 4 seconds. And the velocity when it reaches the ground will be again 38 meter per second. Okay, so in the next 4 seconds, in the next 4 seconds, means 12 seconds, its velocity will increase to 38 meter per second. Speed will increase to 38 meter per second. Fine. So this is the graph. Okay, fine. So you have to draw the graph like this. Okay, so this is the graph for the problem. Okay, now question number 13, 14, 15, 3.15, 3.14 also. See, 3.14 is not a very difficult problem. Okay, so I think this type of problem we have already done. You have to find average speed and average velocity for a time interval of 0 to 30 minutes, 0 to 50 minutes, 0 to 40 minutes. Okay. So 3.3, 3.113 is basically theoretical question. Okay. There is no numerical in that. Fine. Okay. 14, 16, 16 you have doubt? 16. I think 16 we have done already. 16. See, if you look at the graph, so you have to tell whether this graph represent one dimensional or not. Okay. So if you see the graph number A is not one dimensional flow because at one point, at one instant of time, we have two different positions. Okay. Question number two, again, at the same time, we have two different velocity, which is not possible. C, C is also not possible because speed cannot be negative. And D is also not possible because total path length cannot decrease. The total path length cannot decrease. The path length should always increase. Okay. So D is also wrong. Total path length means distance. Distance cannot decrease. Okay. Fine. So all the four graph does not represent one dimension motion. Okay. 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19 you have doubt? 18. Okay. 18. Okay, fine. Question number 18. Muzzle speed. Muzzle speed is speed of the okay. Okay. Uh, is my voice breaking? Or is my voice breaking between? It is breaking. Okay. 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 Maybe some network problem will be there. Okay. So if it is some problem is there, you can ask me. Means you can tell me that your voice is breaking. Fine. Okay. Now question number 18. Okay. A police van is moving on a highway with a speed of 30 kilometer per hour. So you can draw a police van, a van. It is moving at a speed of 30 kilometer per hour, fires a bullet on a thief car speeding away in the same direction with the speed of 192 kilometer per hour. This is the thief car. Okay, thief. Fine. If the muzzle speed of the bullet is 150 meter per second, the bullet hit the thief car. Okay. So first of all, the speed of van is how much? 30 kilometer per hour. First convert in meter per second. So how will you convert 30 into 5 by 18? So it will come as how much? 10 by 6. 10 by 6, or we can say it should be what? 6, it should be 3, 5. 25 by 3, I think. Okay. So 25 by 3 meter per second is the speed of the van. Okay. Now the muzzle speed of bullet is how much? 150 meter per second. And the speed of thief car is 192 into 5 by 18. Okay. How much you will get? Approximately it would be what? 53.33 meter per second. This would be approximately 8.33 meter per second. Okay. Now muzzle speed is the speed of basically what? Speed of the bullet which is coming out from the gun. Okay. But see, muzzle speed is the speed of the bullet coming out from the gun when the gun is stationary, when the gun is not moving. Okay. Like when you fire something and you are not moving, then that is the speed of the bullet. But here if you see, the van is moving and you are firing from the moving van, which means the bullet speed would be what? Will be muzzle speed plus speed of the van, that is 150 plus 8.33. Correct now? We are firing from the moving van. So it should be how much? 158.33 meter per second. Okay, fine. Okay, this is the velocity of the bullet from the moving van. Okay, that is 158.33 meter per second. Now what we need to find? We need to find with what speed bullet will hit the thief car. Okay, so velocity of bullet with respect to thief car, that would equal to what? Velocity of bullet with respect to ground minus velocity of the thief with respect to ground. That is how much? 158.33 minus 53.33. That will come as 105 meter per second. Okay, fine. I hope you understand this or not. Thief car means thief car is moving with the speed of 192 km per hour. Van is moving with the speed of 30 km per hour. From the moving van, we have fired a bullet whose speed is how much? 150 meter per second. Okay, this is the velocity of the bullet when you are hitting. When this is the velocity of bullet from the gun, but since it is fired from the moving van, the velocity of bullet with respect to ground will be what? 158.33 meter per second. Okay, so answer should come as 105 meter per second. Okay, fine. Yes, if you fire a ball from moving car 50 meter per second, you're firing the ball with 50 meter per second. It means what? It would be 100 meter per second. Na? It would be added, velocity will be added there. Okay. Question number 19, 19, 19 and 20 also. Okay. Almost all question I have solved. No, I have not solved all the questions. You want me to solve all the NCRT problems. If I solve all the NCRT problem, what you will do? You have to, whatever I'm teaching, you have to apply and solve the problems. Na? If you are not able to solve, then there is some mistake either in myself, my side or your side. Okay. Question number 19. 19 we have different graphs. Now this is a good problem. Okay. See, we have three graphs. Okay. The first graph is like this. Wait. Okay, we have three graphs. Fine. So graph has started from this point. Okay, this is x t. Okay, so basically the graph is like this. Okay, so what can you understand from this graph? Can you tell me? You all can say that, sir, here time is negative, so the graph is not possible. How you have to give the example only. This is a displacement versus time graph. This is displacement. This is time. Okay. Now basically here here if you can see that here we can see that when you assume time t equal to 0 seconds, there it has some displacement, but before time t equal to 0 second, the body has no displacement, means from a to b there is no displacement. Okay, a to b we have no displacement. Then from b to c, you can see from b to c it is moving with a constant speed. Okay, it is moving with the constant speed, and it is having means it is having a constant speed here. Okay, then it will start retarding, it becomes 0, and then it start retarding and come again 0. Okay, so we can take this like these 3 points. Okay, so which example is possible here? So here if you look at this, from a to b velocity is 0, then from b to a velocity is increasing, then from c to d its velocity is decreasing, and from d to e its velocity becomes 0. Okay, fine. So which example is possible here? Can you think of an example? Practical example. A ball is rests on a smooth floor, is kicked, rebounces from the wall with the reduced speed. Not reduced speed, that is wrong. Speed is not reduced. See, if the speed is reduced, then the graph would have gone, means it would have declined here. Okay, there is no loss of the speed. Okay, yes, I think your example is correct. This is the wall. Okay, here is the wall. Let us suppose here is the wall. Here is a person who kicks some ball. Okay, here's you kick some ball. Okay, initially ball was at rest, means from a to b ball was at rest, then a person kicks the ball, his speed will increase. Okay, his speed or velocity will increase as it goes towards the ball. When it hits the ball, its direction changes. So when you hit the ball with speed, when you hit the ball here, speed is v, it hits the wall and it rebounds it with the speed v. Okay, then it passes the, see why here displacement is negative, because this ball after rebounding has passed this person. Okay, and after some time, means after d it stops. Okay, that is the condition here, that we have the ball, we hit the ball from certain position with velocity v. So up to a to b the ball was at rest. Okay, then a person came, he kicked the ball with the speed v on the right side. So you can see the velocity is increasing on the positive side. Then at c point it hits the ball, it rebounces back, its speed will increase but on the negative side. Okay, its speed is means not speed is not increasing, means velocity is constant on the negative side, and at point d it stops. That is the practical condition of this situation here. Okay, one more example you can take, very good, that we can take like this. One more example you can take, like this is some certain height is there. Okay, so, means some building is there. Okay, from this building we have thrown the ball upward. But no. This is not example because here it is uniform velocity. This will be uniform acceleration, and that is not the answer. Okay, this example is not possible. Fine. Motion the gravity would be the answer there. No, that is the uniform acceleration, but here it is uniform velocity. Constant velocity is there. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So I think this is example is correct. Okay, so I think time is up. You can see all the slides. So I hope your NCRT doubt has been cleared. I tried to solve each and every problem. Okay. See, in the previous problem, what if you look at the graph from A to B, there was no, the ball was not moving. The ball was not moving from A to B, which means the ball was stationary on the floor. Then a person came and he hits the ball. When he hit the ball moves with the constant speed or velocity towards the wall. Okay. Then at point C, it hits the wall. It hits the wall and it rebounds with the same speed. Okay, it rebounds with the same speed. Fine. Then what will happen? It crosses the person who is hit the ball. Okay, it crosses the person who hit the wall. That is why displacement is negative. See, from A to B, the ball was stationary. From B to C, when he hit the ball, it moved with the constant velocity on the right side. Okay, when it reaches C, when it hits the ball, its direction changes and the velocity remains constant on the opposite side. Then at D, see, you can take this point, some point here as F. So when the person crosses F, the displacement becomes negative and it comes to rest after some time. Okay, fine. Okay, we'll discuss additional also. Fine. I think now we don't have any time. Okay, so I tried to discuss most of the problem. Okay, of NCRT. Okay, and NCRT problems are very good. Okay, you need to solve. Next class we'll discuss additional problem also. No, don't worry about that. Additional problem plus the weekly tests that also we can discuss. Okay, not every problem. What all you have doubt, but don't say that every question I have doubt. So in that way, your time will be wasted. My time will also be wasted. Okay, fine. So in this weekend test, you have only kinematics 1D. Relative velocity, graphs, everything will be asked. Average velocity, distance. Okay, no questions from vectors. Okay, thank you all.